show, 5-Star Fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to another episode of 5-Stripe Weekly, and Atlanta United defeated CF Montreal on Saturday 4-1 at the Benz and got into the playoffs. It was a win and get in situation, so we were in control of our destiny. Definitely feels great to be back in the playoffs, but we'll get into that match review in depth in a second. We want to give some big shout outs to our new Patreon fam in Gavin Marshall, Jordan Beck, Nal Faruqi, Andrew Rowicki, Ariel Acosta, and Chris James. Definitely a big shouts out to you guys. And also, as well, we are on our way to 10,000 subs. So definitely join us if you are new around here and get in, smash that subscribe button and that like button as well. But let's get into it.
Ring the bell.
Ring that bell as well. Indeed. But so Atl United, we're back in the playoffs. It's been a little bit of kind of a journey this season, as well as we missed it last year. Was not fantastic to do that, but it is a win and get in situation, like I said, and we did the business. I mean, 4-1, lots of entertainment in this one. The only mark is, of course, without that clean sheet, but I think, you'll take probably this scoreline most days because we have not exactly been the most defensively sound in every single match, and you'll take 4 goals, I think, most nights. So we started off the blocks really well. We exerted a lot of control, and this first goal, it was beautiful, a beautiful team goal where you had Caleb Wiley. He was able to win a ball pretty high. He was able to give it off to Hosetu, who gave it off to Almada, who gave it off to Yakomakis, and then he found Saba, and Saba was able to find Shonda Silva streaking into the box. The goal was a little bit deflected but it was, the fact that it touched that many feet along the way, it's
perfect.
An incredible goal. Exactly. And a second goal for Shonda Silva in his very nascent Atlanta United career. But the celebrations in this one were a bit fun too, especially his Silva's little I don't know what to call it, but like a skip to my Lou a little bit. It was dope. I want to recreate it on the dance floor at MJQ or something. But it's one of those like 2 people will get it on that dance floor, but whichever. But I'm going real deep cut too with MJQ. If you live in Atlanta, Georgia, you probably should know. Although some people haven't been there, so it's all good. But anyway, and then we it's a span of 3 minutes. We score the second one. It's another team goal, and this time Almada is on the end of that one. But in terms of that one, Shonda Silva does some work on this one as well. Getting over to the right side and really confusing, I think, a lot of the defense for CF Montreal, and also terrorizing George Campbell, where he didn't have the best match in this one.
Poor George.
Former homegrown. Not a fantastic game. He was taken off at the half. Who knows if it was for injury, but we don't know. But Almada, he gets on the end of this one, and it's pretty much a tap in. But it's just well worked. But you know what? Something that I forgot to ask you is, your thoughts on this match on a whole before I got onto the goals. That's how rude of me.
Yeah, so this game, It was a masterclass. We saw touches, assists, goals from the whole team. This is not hero ball anymore. This is Atlanta United, circa 2018 looking, where everyone gets in on the play and makes it happen. It's like it doesn't matter who's on the end of the ball if they're, who's going to get the last touch. There will be someone there to do it. Doesn't have to be the striker. Doesn't have to be a winger. Doesn't have to be a midfielder. It can be any of them. That's the beauty of it. It's as we talk about sometimes, the total football of it all. And so you see people in the build-up like Giakoumakis, where he's typically the spear point. You see people scoring who typically run down the sides like Lennon, like Mosquera. It's incredible. This dynamic team that can hurt you in so many different ways. You never know, where the knife is coming from. And it's exciting because that gives you an air of mystery of the game as well. I mean, for so long, we've had a very formulaic way to play because we really haven't had the pieces to play any other way. And it was a lot of lobbing balls in very repeatedly, very predictably. Now this team, even as someone who watches literally every game, there was a profile of basically all the players, still can't predict what's going to happen. It's incredible, and it's a delight to see. And you know what? We're back. We're back in the playoffs, and there's only two things you can do about it, and that's nothing and deal with it.
I love it. I love it. The bravado coming out from Michael, and it is that. Like we're just having fun. We are having fun out there, and you can see it as well. I mean, we'll talk about it in depth, but we're hunting in packs. We're showing a lot of energy, and the bench players coming on as well. They're making a really nice impact as well to make sure that we finish and kill off games and put teams to the sword. That's huge. That's really, really something that we haven't been doing. It's kind of led to maybe reasons why, even kind of semi-recently, where we gave up leads. And this is a pretty decent CF Montreal side, albeit, yes, they're hanging on. They're just clasping to that last playoff spot. But it is, we made short work of them to a degree. I mean, yes, it did become 2-1, and at the half, I never really felt like we were in danger of giving up that lead, though, and that, I don't know when the last time I could have said that. Like, it's maybe, probably against Inter Miami, but. Even then, we had to come back, and so it was, a little bit different of a scenario as well. But I mean, this there was a good level of control in this match, and we just kept bringing on weapons, and made for a very entertaining Saturday night for sure. In that third goal, Giakoumakis and Sean Da Silva, they were able to harry a CF Montreal defender. Yeah, pretty much anybody who was playing on that right side for CF Montreal had a nightmare. It was not a night that you would brandish into your highlights, I would say, if you were a defender on that side. And we were able to kind of beat the VAR as well, because that chip from Giakoumakis, who after Sean Da Silva won it, wow, I mean, from about 20 yards out, it is just on the money. Keeper couldn't do anything about it. It's Giakoumakis has every finish in his toolbox. Like, it is just incredible. Like,
he was trying to score with every part of his boot this game. It was crazy seeing all the acrobatics.
Right. There was one chance that he tried to do with the outside of his right foot.
Yep.
That one went over the bar a little bit, but it wasn't that far away. I mean, yeah, there's just like Giacomakis.
He's like,
we've
just
seen
give
him
me a
score
piece.
with
Give me a piece of it, and I might score.
Exactly. Yeah, like he only needs like half a chance, and I would say this is a half chance for sure. But he made the most of it, and yeah, it's 3-1. We're looking like we're in dreamland, but it gets better. It gets better. Yeah, I mean it's like I would not have like if you would have asked me going into the season, because obviously as well, Edwin Mosquera, he was on loan, but that when he came back, he would score a couple of goals. I would not have put money on it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Anybody who has, and if you did, you're Nostradamus, because holy crap, you need to be betting on way greater things than Atlanta United goals probably. But yeah, the Mosquera goal, I mean, man, the way it starts with Tyler Wolff, with his cross-field ball, this diagonal is well struck, and he's able to find Mosquera. He's then able to find Mosquera is able to find Thiago Almada, and Almada is able to pretty much drop it off for Edwin Mosquera to hit it. Where yes, it does get a little bit of a deflection, but I mean it's on goal. It's our fourth. We put this game away. We're in dreamland. I mean, you know, it's how are you feeling like in that second half? Like, did we just exert complete control?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of mirror what you were saying earlier. It never felt like at any part of this game that we weren't going to continue to keep scoring. It never felt like we took our feet off of the gas. And it felt like control is one way of putting it, but it felt like we just had the confidence. We had the I don't know what to call it, but it was just this like unimpeding energy that it was never a doubt in my mind that like, okay, it's just going to keep hammering down this door and we're just going to keep scoring. You can score as many as you want, man. It's not going to matter. We're just going to blow you down with a whole bunch of goals. And you know what? That's like kind of circa 2017, 2018 Atlanta United. It's kind of Atlanta United what everyone wanted back. They didn't really want the like 1-0, 2-0 wins. They wanted the kind of fireworks games where we blow teams down. And so we're back at that again. And it's exciting. It's exciting soccer. I mean, you know, as long as you're in that position, like I said, where you're like, we're fine. We're going to hang 3-4 on them. And in MLS, you hang 4 on a team, very, very, very rarely is another team going to be able to match that. Like 4, maybe like in the past we had 1-2 goal games. Another team, all they had to do was score 1 goal. And they were able to hang with us basically the whole game. This, you can't hang with Atlanta United anymore with just like 1 or 2 goals in it. It's a whole different ball game. Like, you need to come in here, your offense needs to be on fire in order to score 3-4 goals to keep up with the output. 9 goals in 2 games? Like, come on. What? It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, the stats say so as well. There's a plethora of stats in here that are pretty impressive. I mean, we had 17 shots to their 11, 8 shots on targets. We had an XG of 2 to their 0.7. Yeah, we thoroughly dominated them in possession in 64% to 36. And yeah, our passing was quite good as well at 89.5. But as Sean Da Silva said after the match as well, he said, "What made us win tonight was the togetherness." He noted his good relationship with Saba as well, and simply said he's just doing his job. That's according to Tyler Pilgrim. So definitely great stuff. As Michael's video is glitching, don't mind that. But there we go. Hey, he's back. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, as well, Saba Lapsanidze, he became just the 3rd player in MLS history to record at least 3 goals and 3 assists in his first 250 career MLS minutes. And that's he joins Federico Higuain in Columbus in 2012 and Diego Rossi of LAFC in 2018, who now, of course, is with Columbus Crew as well. So, definitely very, very elite company there. And, that bodes well, I would say. I mean, Federico Higuain, a very elite player in this league. So that's something very much to look forward to. As well, Thiago Almada, he got his 10th goal of the season and his 14th assist, at least kind of straight assists, not a hockey or pre-assist, if you will. So he still leads the league, and that's 10 and 14. He also joins, I believe he is the 4th player. This is going off memory on this one. The 4th player in our history to have gotten to double-digit goals and assists in a season. So, and we still have some games left. So, he can really kind of add to that tally. And speaking of that as well, Yorgos Giacomakis, he is tied for the Golden Boot at 15. And, Hani Mukhtar, Lucho Acosta, it's going to be some, there's a lot of games left, in a sense, for every one of those people on that list to be able to, continue to add to that tally. But, what do you think the likelihood is for Yorgos Giacomakis to win the Golden Boot?
I think it's 1/3. There's 2 other people in the running right now. Essentially, there's one more. I think 1 goal behind them, but like Cucho, I think was like 1 below them or 2 below them. I don't remember. But there's 3 running with, what is it? Acosta, Mukhtar, and Yorgos. I think we'll probably see a below 20 Golden Boot, which is kind of interesting. It's like a low scoring year. So take that, whatever you think that means. I'm not quite sure. Because, historically MLS defenses aren't so great. So what's with the low scoring? So we'll see. But Yako really came in here, and if he actually had like all the time that he, potentially could have, but because of his injury he did not, this guy would have probably blown the doors off of this Golden Boot competition this year. And you know what? I bet like some of those guys, Lucho Acosta, Mukhtar, Cucho, and they're looking over their shoulder and they're like, I hear those footsteps, because that's Yorgos right behind them. And guess what? Next season, if he keeps this pace up, which likely he will, they know, everyone knows that he's going to kill them in terms of goal scoring rate, and he's going to be the favorite if he doesn't win it this year.
The love you have for Giacomakis is palpable, man, and I love it. It's you don't ever hesitate to talk up Yorgos Giacomakis. So I know, anytime I go to you about Giacomakis, it's gonna happen. So, and he's doing it with, I think with good reason. I mean, it's that too. It's he's deserving these plaudits because he's definitely at least making us remember less of the former number 7 that used to wear that same number. But as well, to cap this off in terms of some of the really great stats, according to Johannes Schneider of LA United's media team, he said that the team had 7 assists in 1 game. It's a franchise record. Of course, that's with pre-assists and assists as well. That was last weekend, but this weekend there were 3 players that had 1 goal and 1 assist in the same game. That's second time in franchise history. So I mean, it's just we're really playing like a team, and it is incredible. I mean,
with such little time to build chemistry too, it's amazing.
Right, exactly. Like these players, the very fact that Saba and Silva have not started a game together until this one. And yeah, we look that good together. I mean, yeah, I think it's something where we pretty much, I think we want to see Sean Da Silva, kind of make his move permanent here. And, instead of keeping him on loan, I think we should, kind of let him stay here for some time. But, of course,
Sonday's putting out DP level performances every game. And that's incredible to me. And the fact that this could be like another Darlington Nagby type scenario where, we had a DP in Darlington Nagby, not on a DP contract for multiple years, and that helped us just be a juggernaut. And I think we have a similar thing going on with Zonde, and I'm really excited for it.
Exactly. So, this hopefully is a sign of things to come. And man, are we here for that? Because if I say this not lightly, Atlanta United fans deserve this 100%, because it's just one of those things. We have stuck by this team in some really, really dark times, and
before anyone attacks AJ for saying anything like that, it's like, because I hear in the back of my mind the old Frank de Boer words, you guys are spoiled. But you know what? We deserve a team that at least can compete year in and year out, for playoff spots. Spoiled would be saying something, we deserve to win every year. I don't think we're at that level. And I think it's more than reasonable to be happy to say that a fan base such as ours deserves to have a team that is able to compete every year, and we now have that once again.
Exactly. And as well on an entertainment level like this. I mean, I think that's really what I think a lot of the fans are clamoring for, is winning with style. Is it having to win every single trophy? I mean, it'd be fantastic, but I don't think that's, really ever was most of the fans' ethos. I think a lot of the fans fell in love with the style of play, the swashbuckling style, the, put your foot on the gas and really just see how fast you can go. That type of football is sorely missed, and I think you can see it, you can feel it. There is this palpable sense of, are we back? Are the fans back that were casuals? I think it's coming around. So, anyway, let's wrap a bow on this match. You have a final thought on this?
Let's see. Like I said, everything bodes well. Everything's pointing in the right direction. And just thinking of next season with the potential of Saba being bought down, so he's not a DP anymore, opens up another slot for a DP. Perhaps the roster restrictions taper away a bit. We get another DP slot, perhaps. I'm shuddered to think that this team could get that much better, but those allowances could make the team that much better. And at that point, it's that's a top, 2-3 team in the league. I think right now we could argue for top 4 in the East. And hopefully, if the team continues building chemistry, keeps stringing along consistent results, home and away, this team is really, really something. And I keep saying next season is going to be exciting. This season, I couldn't have anticipated it being as exciting as it is.
Yeah. From where we started and where we are right now, the excitement is definitely on a different level, and may it continue. I mean, the playoffs. I mean, this shows you how forgiving the league is to a lot of degrees, where you can sputter for most of the season, and if you hang around the playoff spots and make a big push at the end, good things can happen. So, But yeah, let's wrap a bow on the match review. Let's get into the news. And Sean Da Silva and Thiago Almada, they make the MLS team of the match day. Well deserved. They both have a goal and an assist in this match. So yeah, definitely that makes total sense. Let's get into the MLS standings. And yeah, we're creeping up there. We're now in 5th. Yeah, just underneath Columbus for that home playoff spot. So yeah, we're hoping for every bit of goodwill and making sure that Julian Gressel doesn't will them into a home playoff spot there. But yeah, as well, Philly, they're in 3rd. Orlando City in 2nd. That's really the thing that's most annoying about this this Eastern Conference right now, is seeing where Orlando City is. But hopefully some complacency maybe will set in or something, and they can even if they finish above us, that things will go as they should when it comes to Orlando City. But anyway, yeah, and FC Cincy, of course, they're pretty much outright Supporter Shield winners already, and we'll definitely see about how well they're going to do in the playoffs. But at least for us in the playoffs, if the playoffs started today, Atlanta would be playing Philadelphia away. So yeah, we really need to get that playoff spot, because that's a tough place to play, especially against that diamond, especially in the playoffs, especially against Jose Martinez. Like, yeah, he can mark your best player out of the game. But they have not faced us in this iteration, although they will face us very soon, as we have our next game coming up against them. So, yeah, we'll have that preview for you in the next episode. But, yeah, tough team to have to play as of today. So, hopefully we can do some business.
We do have a history of knocking them out of the playoffs, though, so.
We do. So, yeah, it is something that's hopefully can repeat itself. But, yes, Pineda, he did have some thoughts on that in terms of postseason berth. He did say, quote, "It's very meaningful, of course. 31 games, and we got it, especially after last year. We didn't achieve that. For me, for Atlanta, playoffs should be the minimum requirement of the season. We barely have started to see what we can do. So many things to come, and this is a good goal, but there are many more to come." Guzan also added in the locker room that now we've got to try and finish as high as we can. We know that home field advantage is huge for us, so we want to try to finish in those top spots to be able to have that advantage. So, yeah, very much so. They're on the same page that this is just the beginning. We need to achieve more to put us in a better spot, because, yes, while we have looked better on the road, it's still very tough, and in the playoffs, it's a completely different scenario. You can't always pull off that New York Red Bulls result away, so that's difficult. But yeah, moving on from that, Garth Lagerwey, he spoke with The Athletic about Thiago Almada and a possible move, whether in the winter, at any point. But basically, he said, quote, "I can't control what other teams offer us, but I do think he's deserving of a record, or do I think he's deserving of a record transfer? I do. I think there's objective numbers to support that." And asked if they're seeking a large fee or if they're in a rush to see Almada leave. He also said he can stay as long as he wants. We didn't sign a full DP on purpose this summer. So really telling there. And Boca Negra, he also mentioned that Almada, he's happy here when the time comes and a Champions League club comes in for him and he's ready to go. We'll work with him. That's always his goal, to play at a Champions League club. And he's got that ability. We're happy to have him as long as he wants to stay, but we understand at some point there will be that time. So, I mean, it's not maybe something that we don't already know to a degree, but the fact that they didn't sign a full DP on purpose this summer, very, very interesting. Like, what are your thoughts hearing them say this?
Yeah, I'm not full. There was like ideas, theories that perhaps the reason they held off on another DP was because like we might be getting there might be a coaching change or something. Maybe the new coach would have more of a say in the next DP when they would come in. But I'm starting to think that's not the case. I think Gonzalo's job is probably pretty safe at this point. So maybe it could have been another reason. It could have been maybe the markets in Europe and other places they traditionally like to look. Garthwager likes to look. There wasn't that much going on. They didn't have, because like they said they wanted to get guys who fit their profile, and they didn't want to stretch it and like shoot their shot too early and then get someone who didn't fully fit. So like I get that they are reserved and they're being careful. They're doing the due diligence. That's good. So maybe the last market wasn't great. Maybe this next one will be, and they'll have the time, they'll have the energy, the money, everything to really line up the exact profile, the exact guy they want to bring in, and hopefully they're just available and they're interested in coming. And I would be surprised if like a top tier player was looking at what Atlanta United can do right now and went, yeah, that's not for me. I feel like that would be like, it looks like fun over there. They look like they're having a great time for an amazing stadium, amazing fan base. They're having a great time. They look like they're a team that can compete. Let's go. Let's do it. That sounds like a fun project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, fully agree. That's definitely something that won't deter probably most players if they're looking to play in this league. Albeit though, our next story with Josh Cohen, a goalkeeper that is American. There is a representative for him that apparently alleged that Atlanta United violated MLS rules while attempting to sign the player, and complained to the league that, basically the Athletic said that this wasn't the case, at least according to the representative. And MLS spokesperson told the Athletic that no rule was violated, but it is in that sense that this goalkeeper, he has played in some other kind of leagues that make him a pretty attractive player that could have been somebody to replace Brad Guzan. He did make 6 appearances in the Champions League group stage last year with Maccabi Haifa, and he was included in the U.S. national team camp in June. And he did win 3 league titles with Haifa and was named the footballer of the year following the 2020-2021 season in Israel. So it is something that's the fact that he was on the discovery list, I think it speaks volumes that it's someone that we were looking for. We're looking to replace Brad Guzan's just really crazy production that he's been able to do for pretty much most of the 7 years that we've been a club. So, my audio went out. Hello. There we go. Are we back? Hello. I can hear you. My microphone went out. Check. Okay, it's back.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay, cool. So, picking up from there, I'm just going to give a little wave here so I can remind myself. So essentially, LA United had discovery rights on this goalkeeper, but it basically prevents any other club from signing him. And apparently there was maybe a poor attempt at signing him, and maybe we try to stash him on Atlanta United too. But yeah, that apparently didn't happen either. And so, yeah, it did apparently prevent Cohen from negotiating with other MLS clubs, despite not being under contract with any team. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, how do you read this situation? I mean, it's like, do you feel like it's maybe just some saltiness from representatives of Josh Cohen, or do you feel like maybe there is a case?
I'm sure there's a case, but it's a case based on probably confusion on their part, because MLS is kind of a beast when it comes to their rules and regulations. We're a very unique league in a lot of respects, and because of that, especially when you have agents and other people around the world who haven't really took the time to understand MLS, can easily become confused about how we do things here. And so what I suspect is that this was born out of just a confusion that the agent or agency had in regards to how the discovery rights work in MLS, and how perhaps, like you were saying, stashing him in LA 92, this, if you don't know how things work here, this can sound iffy, can sound weird. So it's definitely not rolling out the red carpet per se, and if you're a player of big ego, that might be something you're looking for. And this guy's got Champions League experience. He can definitely tout that. I mean, that's nothing to stick your nose up at. But it could also just be a lot of smoke without fire. The agent just could be doing a lot of hullabaloo just to gain interest on this player, get eyes on the player, drum up interest, get other teams to come call and things like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't say for certain whether or not Josh is he's the one pulling all these strings and going you know what? Now I feel bitter about Atlanta United. I'm not going to play with them ever. Kind of. We don't know that. It could just be agents doing a lot of blustering and making a molehill out of a mountain out of a molehill. So I guess it remains to be seen how it goes. It would have been an interesting pickup for us. Yeah, I don't know. We probably won't think too much more about it if we don't sign the guy in probably a couple months. So.
Right. And as well, though, the complaint apparently as well, and this is my bad for not reading it for you as well, but it is that they requested MLS remove Cohen from Atlanta's discovery list, and they also stated that they will not negotiate with Atlanta in the future. But Atlanta United, they also provided the following statement that we're aware of the complaint, but per club policy, we won't comment on contract negotiations nor an ongoing complaint. So, Cohen, he can sign abroad right now, but, in MLS, he will have to wait until the winter ahead of the 2024 season to actually sign for an MLS club if he wants to do that. So, definitely very interesting stuff in that regard.
These discovery rights, man. First was Diego Rossi controversy, and now this. It's getting in the news, especially for Atlanta United.
Right, and so if there is actually some stuff, I mean, MLS doesn't think so. So, okay, that's good enough for me, I think. But moving on from that, congrats to Franco Escobar. I mean, everywhere he goes, he is winning. And, he just won the U.S. Open Cup with Houston Dynamo. He, of course, won the MLS Cup again with LAFC last year. I mean, it's he's a guy that, yes, frustrated a lot of fans with his perpetual yellow card infringements, but the man, you can't argue with the results. He has won everywhere he's gone. So, congrats to playoff Escobar. But as well, getting into our last bit of news. Speaking of playoffs, in an unfortunate way, Atlanta United 2, they earned a shootout victory over Inter Miami CF 2 Sunday night. After the match ended in a 3-3 draw. Noah Cobb, Nick Firmino, and Kofi Twumasi all scored, but unfortunately, they are out of the playoffs. They do not make the playoffs this season. And, it's definitely unfortunate, but there were some really great seasons from certain players, and none other, especially than Nick Firmino, which, the Brazilian, he had a banner year. And, he's also up for the goal of the year in the MLS Next Pro League. I mean, he had a hell of a season, and I think, I foresee, hopefully, maybe he can become a part of the first team officially, but can we keep him? That really is the question. No idea. But, that is the news, and let's get into the mailbag. And you guys send in these questions via IG story. Please continue to do so, and we might answer one of your questions in the future. But first question comes from Gavin is the real one. Where do you think we finish in the Eastern Conference standings? Michael.
I want to say fourth. I really would love to say fourth.
Yeah.
But it's looking like a pretty uphill battle, so I'm going to hope for fifth. Hopefully we can get that. I really do think some of these teams are falling out of favor in the top echelon of the Eastern Conference, and we can take advantage of that. It's unfortunate the case with some of them, specifically New England being targeted, but it is what it is. We'll hopefully be able to take advantage of it and make the most of it, and we'll see what happens come next Wednesday against Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. We'll see if we can knock them off their high horse and take that spot. So it's there. It's for the taking. There's a lot of 6-point games coming our way towards the end stretch of the regular season. So it's going to be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Because as of currently, we're at 49 points. Philadelphia is at 50 points. Yes, they do have a game in hand. New England also has a couple games in hand, as well as Nashville. Now, Nashville, they have to do some proper catching up, but New England are at the same points level that we have. So, we need some things to go our way as well. So, I agree. Fifth would be probably the realistic shout, but fourth, of course, is where we want to be.
It's in our hands for
fourth.
Least. I think, honestly, it's in our hands. If we can dispatch Philadelphia away, that is gonna clinch it for me. I think. I don't think they're coming back from that. I don't think anyone's coming back from that. That would be a statement win if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay, next question comes from G Money ATL. We win in the chip in the Influences Everything jerseys. I'm trying to decipher that question, but I think
that was the last game where we were wearing the 404s. Was last game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that'd be really cool if they brought it out for some other games in the future. But I think that was the last game, so we'll probably end up winning MLS Cup in the red, black, and gold. So.
Yeah, if so. I mean, I think it's been, for me anyway, when Bombs Over Baghdad plays, when we score goals, I think, we need more of this. This is, it's way more exciting than the previous song. And
was it Ken Craft Army Nation or a Zombie Nation or whatever?
Yeah, Zombie Nation, exactly. And by the way, it's a very bizarre video as well. That if you've seen that video, it's strange.
That's an older one, yeah.
Oh, for sure. And but Bombs Over Baghdad, the far superior song. Although it is The Zombie Nation song obviously is a very common stadium song, arena song.
It's a legendary sports song. Yeah, everyone knows it.
Exactly. But, I think we should keep this even though if we wear different kits throughout the season. But, yeah. Anyway, so next question. Let's see. The question comes from YoPro20YT. If we keep our consistency and keep our starting our strong 11, would we win the MLS Cup?
It's very possible. I think so far from what I've seen, this team has what it takes to beat any team in the MLS on the right day. And that includes a messy Miami. I don't know whether they will. We still have to stress test this. We have to put, the team in the old pressure cooker and see how they do. Philadelphia will be a really good test on that regard. We've passed a couple really interesting tests so far. Seattle away. We did well against Dallas away. These are tough games to get results at. We dispatched Montreal, Miami pretty easily in those games. We've had some pretty big wins. We haven't really gone up against top competition yet. So when we do, that'll tell you whether or not we can be a cup team. In like a reasonable, we could do it this year, something like that. But I still think, like, speculatively speaking, just looking without seeing the results of these, games against top competition, I think you wouldn't be faulted for thinking we have a decent shot.
Mm-hmm. And it's also this. I agree with a lot of your points. There is this aspect too where the data on our strongest starting 11, there's not going to be that much, and that's the beauty of it. Is like, this business end of the season, we're coming together and we have players that have not played that much in this league. So, yeah, but they're clearly lighting it up a good bit. That's huge. That's on a level of, like the game preparation. Yes, okay, yeah, there are some tendencies. There are some things that, the opposition can study to know what they're probably going to do, but some of these players might have another bag of tricks, in that toolbox, and that's something that could be really, really instrumental in us being very unpredictable for a lot of teams and how they can prepare for us, and that's going to be awesome. I think if we can.
I have no idea what like a team would do when they look at Atlanta United and say, like, how do we predict this team? How do we play against this team right now? I couldn't. I don't know what would go in. Tata Martino couldn't figure it out. He's a tactical genius. He knows Atlanta United and everything. I don't know what. I would love to hear it, actually. I would love to hear, like, what do you do against this Atlanta United? And it kind of feels to me a bit like, when Bruce Lee says, be like water. Like, Atlanta United takes the shape of whatever it needs to take in order to hurt their opponents. If it needs, like I said in the beginning of the episode, if they need to go down this way, that way, ball over, ball through, sprint, build up, slow, over the top, it doesn't matter. We got it all, and we can do it all. And we've been consistently hurting teams with all the entire wardrobe. So, be like water. That's what we're doing.
I love that metaphor. And that's awesome. And last question comes from Wilbert R_. He asks, if ATL doesn't renew Josetu's contract, what DP center mid would you want to replace him? And I'll help you out a little bit here as you think of your answer, because definitely, it's an on-the-spot question. Because as you can tell with, most of the players that we brought in, Tristan Muyamba, Shonda Silva, Saba Lapsenice, even Yorgos Giacomakis, is like, these players aren't on people's radars most of the time, but somebody that I feel like if he didn't renew his contract recently, the player that I'm speaking of at Real Madrid, Luka Modric, he definitely is a player he's maybe not on the level of Lionel Messi, but he is a Ballon d'Or winner, and holy shit, would he just run this league, even at his age.
Yeah.
I think, it's like he's a player
that would be. I would love to see him here.
Yeah, like
would
that's
love
not
to
our
see him
MO, but it's somebody that I think would be that DP center mid that, I think both of us would like to see. What do you think?
Absolutely. That would be a wonderful shout to have him, a player of his caliber, his pedigree, and the fact that he just seems like such an amazing person. Like having that personality on a team, I feel is huge. So that's a great shout. I want to go with something similar to what you're saying. And I'm kind of thinking, if we have some more roster, less restrictions on the roster next year to play around a little bit, maybe adding like you're supposing an aging superstar of sorts. One that's always been something, near and dear to my heart is the one and only Christian Eriksen. He could play that role a bit. He is amazing, an amazing player in all facets, has done it all. I love the guy. He's a wonderful human being. I like watching Denmark play, and when he's on there, it's amazing. He's, done well almost everywhere he's gone. I would, and he's just, in terms of like my wife's family and extended families, that would be like amazing to see him here, which I'd never see it happening, but it would be amazing.
I mean, there is a likelihood because Manchester United, they are kind of in some dire straits at this current moment. I mean, not like alarm bells, but there are some, definitely head-scratching moments right now for their season. I am rolling in my sleep, I think, thinking that, there are two former Spurs players that we are clamoring to come to Atl Utd. It's not exactly ideal, I would say, but yes, they are good players, and so it's like, at the very least, that mitigates that. But I'm not feeling fantastic about our choices now, all of a sudden. But, it's for on the spot, this is what we've come up with, so... But anyway, so that is the mailbag and pretty much the entire show, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, who do you think has had the biggest impact so far from the new transfers that we had this summer? It's a pretty tough question, actually. And I'm actually curious, Michael, what you think right now. Who has been the biggest impact?
I have to answer this in two ways. The first way is like the overall impact on the team, like the entirety of the team. I think that's Tristan Mayumba. I think he's the metronome that makes this team tick. Without him, I don't think the things that we see in the attacking half of the team happen as often or as nicely. So, I mean, you could say like, Yorgos isn't exactly a new signing, but kind of is. But, obviously we're referring to, Silva and Saba, and those players have lit it up, absolutely. But again, like I said, I don't think that they'll be able to do what they've been doing at the rate they've been doing, at the quality they've been doing, without someone like Tristan facilitating it. The second part of the answer is if you just want to go with impact, like psychological impact, emotional impact on the fans, it has to be Silva. Guy is just electric. It's amazing watching him play. Saba's like kind of right up there too, but Silva is in the headlines after like every game. People, he's magnetic. So that's what I would say. On a superficial level, Silva, but on like a deep level, a holistic level, I think it's probably Tristan.
Amazing answer, man. Yeah, I think it's I think to sum it up a little bit as well, I would agree that Muyumba, he has very simply connected our lines, and that was something that we were clamoring for. We were concerned about for a large part of the season, and yeah, I'm in full agreement. But I'm curious what you guys have to say as well. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. But guys,
why is your
it for us
answer
today.
Muyumba?
Don't influence
Muyumba
their answers.
Muyumba likes to bring everything to what I like to call together. You know what I mean?
Love it, love it. But yeah, guys, that's it for us today. Remember to subscribe to us if you haven't already. Like, share, comment, subscribe. For Michael, I'm AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.